Hey guys, my name's Carlie. I love to backpack and I like drinking wine. So it's about to hit peak season in Europe, which means you guys are about to have a lot of fun. Last year I went to Europe 4.5 months, and with all of my friends they keep asking me, tell us stuff about Europe and what should we do? So I thought I'd just make this video to help you guys out as well. So basically, before I left last year, I looked up videos, just things, general things, what to pack, and there wasn't really much helpful stuff that wasn't overly obvious. There was heaps of girly girl options or really minimalistic, roughing it out backpacking, which I wasn't really keen to do for Europe. So anyway, this video is just a whole heap of random, handy, helpful tips, hopefully. Stuff that I definitely recommend on bringing, a little bit on hostelling. So really maximize your backpacking European adventure, and you guys will have so much fun. Okay, what to pack? Unless you're a serious hiker, I wouldn't recommend bringing your hiking boots. I bought these and they were perfect because they're lightweight, they're comfortable, you can walk around in them all day, and you can do hikes and stuff like that in them. I also bought thongs or flip-flops, 3 words, nasty, hostel, showers. Definitely bring them, I'm warning you. Heels are not really necessary. I didn't bring any, and I didn't feel the need that I needed them at all, plus no other travellers really wear them out anyway. They're awkward to have in your backpack. If you're also a wine enthusiast, bringing your own bottle opener is a must because all the bottles there are still corked. A cup so you can sit and get blind before you go out on the cheap. Dry shampoo is a good idea, but if you're a povo like me, then talcum powder does the trick. You also want to get your hands on a decent sized travel mirror. There's normally only 1 mirror per dorm. This way you can do your own makeup, sit on your bunk bed out of everybody's way. And you want to have paracetamol for all the hangovers, because you'll definitely miss stuff because you'll be hungover. You definitely want to bring along your sarong. Countless things you can do with this bad boy, like using it as a beach towel, a scarf, a mosquito net, privacy screen, a bad hair day hat, a modesty shawl, a blanket, baby Jesus, and a pillowcase, to name a few. You definitely want to bring along some sunscreen because the sunscreen prices in Europe are out of control. I paid, I think it was 25 euros for this tiny tube of sunscreen, and I was just like, what the fuck? If you're into sentimental things, then I suggest getting a travel diary. I always say I'm going to do one of these and I never end up finishing it. Scissors, glue, must. It also is a really good way to kill time on long transport. It's really important, guys, that you do not bring your cat with you. They will not like Europe. So if you're planning on heading to either like Morocco or Turkey, you definitely want to consider bringing some modesty clothes. You can obviously buy these along the way. Something like this would be good, like long skirts, loose fitting. Guidebooks are good, although they're not essential. There's plenty of great apps. You can download them as you go, and that way you don't have to carry around this chunk of lard with you. Someone bought me this, and I probably wouldn't have bought one myself. They're good. They've got maps, top sites, information, but it's really important not just to do what the guidebook says. Be adventurous, get lost, and that's when you find the best stuff. You need to take copies of your passport, important documents. If you email them to yourself, that way you'll always have them on file. Multiple locks is super important. I can guarantee you that you'll be in all these hostels and the lockers won't fit all the different size lockers, and it's just a bit of a nightmare. So bring multiple sizes. That way you'll always be able to lock up your stuff. And it also gives you extras if you lose any, because I lost like 4 and they weren't even mine. If you're Australian like me, you definitely want to bring along your Vegemite. A lot of hostels offer free breakfast, and it's normally just continental, like toast, butter, jam, that really sweet jam. So it's nice to have your Vegemite with you. It's a good way to meet friends, and I even sold some Vegemite to some dude for like 5 euros, and I was like, yes, made some money off my Vegemite. If you're not super prepared before you go to Europe, don't worry about it. I see so many people just go and spend hundreds of dollars. Everything you can buy at home, I can guarantee you'll be able to buy in Europe, and you'll probably save some money. Some useful tips about Europe. Firstly, if you're a student or you have a student card, definitely bring it along because they offer discounts like everywhere. Always stash some serviettes and napkins because in Europe you have to pay for all your public bathrooms and extra for toilet paper. Just saves you a little bit of money, I suppose. There are so many churches, ruins, museums, art gallery, castles in Europe that you really do get over them. I suggest just picking out the ones that you really want to go to and go see them, and that way it's more special. Don't feel obliged to do absolutely every single sightseeing that they have to offer in that particular town, or then you'll get sighted out. Europe is notorious for pickpocketing. Being tourists, we're total targets. We're probably carrying large sums of money, expensive cameras, and we're just not used to it and being consciously aware of our stuff all the time. Unfortunately, it just happens. You've got to be really conscious about your belongings, especially in crowded areas like subways, markets, and notorious spots like around the Eiffel Tower, Barcelona. If you're carrying a day pack, I definitely recommend locking it. If you're carrying a handbag, something like this is great because it's big enough to fit in your SLR and important stuff. You can wear it across your body. And when you're walking through a dodge area, you can simply use the tag of the zipper, hold it to the strap, and then you know that no one can get into it. The art of hostelling. Hostels are awesome because it's a great way to meet friends, you can learn crazy drinking games, it's just a cool place to hang out with a whole heap of young people. But it's super, super critical to read the reviews before you book any hostel, and I mean it. You'll be surprised how many owners lie about that short 5-minute stroll into town or the really spacious rooms they have to offer. You definitely want to look for cleanliness. You don't want there to be any reviews about bed bugs. You want it to be the overall experience and the location. And in return, leave a review for the next future travelers to come through, and it all just kind of works out like that. There's going to be times when you're going to get a really crappy hostel. You're going to be real with like shit people. It's just not what you thought it was going to be like. And unfortunately, it just happens. There's not really much you can do about it unless you want to get up and leave, change hostels or whatever. They'll probably keep your money. So just like suck it up, and it will probably turn into a funny story one day. If the description says it's a party hostel, then 90% of the time they really mean it. It means you're probably not going to get a good night's sleep. You're going to have drunk people stumbling in at all hours, and it's probably going to be really loud because there's either going to be a bar on the roof or in the basement. But cheap drinks, hopefully. So if you're looking for a good night's sleep, really avoid these because if you can't beat them, join them. Definitely looking out for hostels that offer free breakfast. You know, if you're on such a tight budget that I was, you're going to be looking to find free stuff anywhere you go. It's only awesome because the food is free, but it means you can also snake some for snacks later in the daytime. Hostels are so appealing to backpackers is because they're cheap. But you got to be careful because a lot of the time you rock up to like the cheapest hostel there is and there's all these extra add-ons you weren't aware of. Like sometimes they charge you extra for Wi-Fi passwords or extra for sheets, and it's a bit crap. So make sure you look into that. You also save a lot of money if the hostels have kitchens in them because you can buy your own food and cook it and prolong it. And it's just nice to cook your own food sometimes. You also want to be really wary about other travelers. Unfortunately, and I hate this, is that other travelers steal so much crap off people and you just don't see it coming. So make sure you are really careful. Lock away all your stuff. And it's really sad because, you know, everyone's in the same boat. Everyone doesn't have much money. Everyone's just trying to prolong their trip a little bit more. So if you steal stuff, don't, because you're the asshole that ruins it for all of us. Doing your laundry on the road can be a bit of a hassle sometimes. So if you are going to do laundry, sometimes the laundry services offered at the hostel are really overpriced. So you're better off going to your own laundromat or finding a local dry cleaner. I wash basically everything by hand unless I had my whole bag that was completely dirty and had to wash. Or just like small things in the shower with me, and it's fine, everyone does it, whatever. Now if you have clothes that you want to keep less crinkled than others, I definitely recommend rolling it opposed to folding it. It kind of preserves it. There are ways to get creases out of clothes, and I'm going to show you one right now. Okay, so here's a shirt that I pulled out of my backpack and it's been in there for weeks and I haven't worn it and it's all crinkly. I mean, you can't really tell, but it's crinkly. What you can do is that you can hire, or if you already have, a hairdryer from the hostel. And all you do is just blow out the crinkles. Okay, I'm not sure if you can tell, but now I have a wrinkle-free t-shirt. Very handy tip. A major factor to take in consideration is definitely the peak season. It's from June to August and it is absolutely crazy. There's just floods of crowds, heaps of tourists, everything, all the prices go up and all the availabilities go down. It really affects like all the really cheap hostels are all booked out, all the really good hostels are all booked out, and you're left with like expensive, mediocre places. It really affects transport. I mean, transport's so great in Europe. You know, there's lots of it. You know, trains, buses, ferries. You know, obviously being flexible with your dates is definitely going to guarantee you cheap fares. If you are lucky enough to score those crazy flight deals, definitely take in consideration where the airport is, because a lot of those discounted budget airlines, their airport isn't the main airport, and it's like 2 hours away from the center of town. So that will cost you more time to get there, but also, you know, it doesn't weigh out the cheap flight that you got to get into town, where, say, the bus station is normally right in the main square of wherever you're going. So it's definitely something to take into consideration. Sleeper buses, trains, whatever, is definitely the way to go. You are not only saving night accommodation, but it's actually pretty cool waking up in a new town, and you'll be very excited about that. Oh, validate your tickets. I may sound really stupid to some of you, but when I was there, some lady was like, make sure you validate your ticket. And I was like, what is this? Okay, so then before you go down to the platform, so while you're still up, you have to put your ticket in a machine and it puts a hole in it, and make sure you do that, because this chick who was telling me got fined 80 euros because she had a ticket but she didn't validate it. So if you're watching this, you're either about to go to Europe or you're planning to go to Europe. Either way, I'm super jelly. You guys are going to have a ball. I definitely recommend hanging out with the locals. The locals are your ticket into Europe, because they know all the best places, all the cheap places. You'll just have so much fun. Just say yes, be open for everything. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And if this helps you, or if you've got your own little travel tips, just write a comment below. And I don't know, maybe I'll make another video.